So thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming together today. I really appreciate it. I know both you, Patrick, and Corley are very, very busy. How are you doing today, Patrick?
Doing great, thanks.
Good.
I was gonna say, doing great, thanks.
Good, good. And how are you, Corley?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Obviously, both of you are representatives of two of the leading organizations for Muay Thai in the States right now. Why don't we start off with you, Corley? You've obviously been involved in USMF for quite some time. What is your vision of Muay Thai, and what will you be doing to sort of enact that?
My vision for Muay Thai is getting it recognized at the highest level, and then providing opportunities for youth and adult where, they don't have to go to different sports. They don't have to stay busy by doing this or that. That Muay Thai has enough opportunities across the country to stay busy and continue in the sport, from along the way, youth can hit patches where, as a tiny kid, you might be able to get a lot of opportunities at scrimmages and stuff. And then as you get experience as a teenager, it starts getting difficult. Then, an entry level adult, there's plenty of places to get, entry level experience. But once you're an adult with experience, a lot of experience, it becomes difficult. So I want to kind of patch up all these holes we have in Muay Thai, and just always have something for all the athletes to do. And I think it takes, getting the sport recognized at a high level so it can provide that.
Yeah, so I just want to ask a couple of follow-up questions to that. Obviously, the USMF and IFMA, its parent organization, are pushing to the Olympics. Would you say that is the highest level for the sport? And then also, what is the timeline looking like for Muay Thai in the Olympics?
Well, I don't know about the Olympics. It could be thrown in the 2028, but I don't think so. Probably later on. But my thing is getting recognized by the United States Olympic Committee. There's a pathway for that can help unify, the sport in the amateur realm. As you all know, there's, so many different factions of Muay Thai, rules here, Muay Thai rules there, and different states only allow this, only state allows that. So the one good thing with me, my total goal is to get the USOC recognition. So first part of that is the RSO packet, which is a recognized sport organization. We're like right in the middle of that right now. At the end of the day, you want to try and be an NGB, national governing body, so you kind of oversee the amateur side of the sport. And some people might say that's a bad thing. Well, it's a thing to try and unify, and through the Ted Stevens Act, it can bypass state athletic commissions that don't allow this, don't allow that, and we can have a unified kind of amateur Muay Thai rule set across the country. So that's kind of the thing. The Olympics for me, yeah, that's great, that's cool, but the United States Olympic Committee recognition and getting the NGB, Ted Stevens Act, all that stuff, that to me is my more attainable, closer goal.
So just let me repeat it, because there's a lot of different things going on. So you want USMF to be an NGB, which is a
national governing body.
National governing body. So that would mean it would be able to say be a governing body or commission, if you will, in California and Hawaii and Illinois and Jersey, and it would all be blanket rules, correct?
Yeah, for the NGB. Right now, we're just in the RSO part, which is a recognized sport organization. That just is it has its things where it can over, it doesn't get you into the Ted Stevens Act where you get like the blanket thing that you're talking about, but it does get you into a lot of states that are just, some states say you need to be an NGB, but a lot of states allow you to be a recognized sport through the United States Olympic Committee.
Okay, so I see. So in terms of steps, you go RSO, a recognized sports organization, then NGB, and with the RSO, you can go into certain states like, say, New York, but maybe not California. But once you have the NGB status, you can go wherever you want.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I get turning it over to you, Patrick. Same question. What do you think is your vision of Muay Thai, and what sort of concrete plans do you have to do that as well?
A lot of my goals, a lot of our goals aligns with Corley's and the USMF. It's just ethical growth of the sport of Muay Thai, safety for athletes, right? Standardization of rule sets, creating an ascension, and a progression throughout the careers of young Nak Muay, right? Onto the professional stage. So I do love what the USMF and IFMA does with the Olympic movement, with amateur rule Muay Thais, having it pro-am and padded. I think that is a phenomenal way to get experience. But at a certain level, they'll also have an additional platform of growth on the professional side. And, the professional side hasn't been really developed here in the United States due to the fact that most athletes, it's very rare, now being with the WBC, we're trying to set up, title fights with the criteria and standards that we've set. And it's difficult to find athletes all across the country with more than 10 fights, right? And a lot of it's because of the haphazard way of putting, Frankenstein way of people putting together different rules in different states and their interpretation of Muay Thai in the way that they score it and the scoring criteria. My vision for it aligns, with Corley's in regards to, being able to provide something that's going to develop athletes, throughout the career.
And you obviously mentioned the professional side. What sort of steps are you going to create so that fighters can have careers in the sport? Are there immediate things that you will be doing, immediate and long-term plans?
Yeah, so we're getting sanctioning in different states, at least for now, on the amateur level. And one of the big problems that I see that, Corey and I have talked about in the past is, a lot of Americans, they see what they see in Thailand, not realizing that in Thailand, those guys have 200 fights, right? And so they think, oh, in Thailand, they're not wearing headgear, they're not wearing shin pads. And I know this is not a very popular opinion, but having that creates longevity, so you can fight more often. If you think about an IFMA event, somebody can get, if they're fighting 2 or 3 IFMA events throughout the year padded, they can get maybe 12 fights, or 15 fights for the year, whereas the average American will be lucky to get 2 or 3 fights per year. Some will get more, obviously, but most won't. So what we want to do is we want to be able to create a distinction between what amateur is and what pro is. And if you think about it now, the way things are, at least in California, people can fight with elbows and no shin guards. Now I do feel that they should be fighting with elbows padded from the onset. It shouldn't be modified or this or whatever. It should be padded, but they have to have a clear distinction on what amateur and pro is. If you look at boxing, amateur boxing versus pro boxing, it is really obvious what is amateur and what is pro. And to the uninitiated, if we're going to grow, the uninitiated has to know the difference between, the two classes of the sport.
Mhm. And Corley, do you feel, you obviously talked a little bit about how there's holes in career paths for athletes. Do you see the USMF developing, or patching the hole that is professional Muay Thai as well? And what sort of concrete things will USMF do about it?
So we used to have, we always say we need to get our guys experience to compete with the world. And we've seen our athletes compete with the world and hang, but it's not in the masses. It's not in the numbers that we need. We need experience and more people getting experience. So there's depth in professional Muay Thai. It's very difficult for a promoter. I know I work with a lot of the pro promoters that I have pro fighters that get put on the shelf. A lot of people don't take fights, and really, I was kind of compiling a list. There's not that many professional shows also in the U.S. And I believe with a lot of this big youth movement, a lot of different scrimmages, points, whatever, point Muay Thai, MDL, USA Challenge, whatever they are. I think these are going to be the wave that help develop a bigger depth and pool for promoters. That promoters just cannot rush it. We're gonna don't try to bring in the guy from Thailand just yet. Don't bring let's work on our local scene. Let's work on our pool of athletes, and it takes from the ground up. So we're getting people that are getting experience now and hanging with the world, but we need a lot more in the professional realm. I don't think any of us on this call can name male, 67 kg, a top 10 for professionals. I don't even know if we fill top 10, and that goes for almost every weight class in America, except I'd say women's 54, women's 57 kg, which we have like a really good depth of that. But other than that, we don't have the depth of that. So I think it's got to go back to this new wave of youth, providing them with opportunities, showing them that, if all these people doing all these tournaments and doing these youth scrimmages, fall into amateur events, and then through those amateur events, maybe they go to these world tournaments, go back to those amateur events. There's going to be, I think, more opportunities for the pro level. And we got to, if it's me, I'm trying to talk to these promoters about not trying to go big too fast. I think that's been the problem with all pro promotions in the U.S. And spending $10,000 on a fight where we could be bringing in a lot of top USA talent to build each other up, I think would be a better option. But yeah, I think it all starts with that youth and getting everyone experience, creating depth in all of the divisions that there is, sustainability to have pro fights. If there's only 2 people in your division, you're a 51 kg female, your only option is to go to Thailand. So that's the thing. We don't. It used to be like that, but I think now as the sport's growing, we shouldn't have to have athletes go to Thailand as being your only option. In some weight classes, it has to be right now, but that's the goal, I think.
So that makes sense. I feel like both of you to some extent are on the same page. Like you feel, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe jumping the gun and developing the pro side is not as worthwhile, both short-term and long-term, as it is focusing on amateur level athletes and really growing their experience, because in another maybe 5 years or so, all those amateur athletes will have 15, 20 20 plus fights, so you have a larger pool of athletes that can be professional. Does that sound correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess the next thing is, what are some of the things that you guys have planned? So Corley, what are some of the upcoming events for 2023?
So closing out this year, we got a couple more shows we're sanctioning. We just started sanctioning in New York. And we started sanctioning the Prime Muay Thai show in Indiana. For 2023, we're going to run it back again, a adult national qualifier, and then we're also going to have a youth national qualifier in the summertime. We also, so all those right after the adult qualifier in March. In May is the IFMA championships, the 30-year anniversary, I believe. So all the athletes that qualify will go to that. After that, in June, there'll be a youth national, our first time doing a youth national. And I think, you know, I got real excited last year when we did, oh, I keep saying last year, but this year when we did our qualifier, I thought that was a really great event, and I can't wait to do the youth. I know there's a lot of, you know, like I was talking about earlier, there's so many different ways for kids to get experience now, and I feel like we got to bring them all together, and that's going to be something I'm looking forward to. And so the kids that win from that, they're going to go to Turkey. So that's going to be the World Championships for kids is going to be in Turkey this year. And then there's the World Combat Games, which is going to be in Saudi Arabia. That's actually like a fully funded event. So anyone that qualifies is going to be able to go to that fully funded. The 2 gold medalists from the World Games, Aaron Ortiz and Charlesy Brenner, are already qualified. So we got 2 USA athletes going to be at that. And then anybody that wins, I believe gold or silver, might attain points to go to it at this next IFMA World Championship. So we got that. We're going to be trying to sanction more. Hopefully by March of 2023, we'll have a RSO, recognized sport organization within the Olympic Committee, and, you know, get more eyes and more, you know, big sponsorship eyes on Muay Thai. You know, a lot of people are like, what is Muay Thai? And, you know, a quick way to say like, oh, well, it's here, look, it's a US Olympic Committee, blah, 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 you know, so that's got the rings and you could show all that. I think that's great for, you know, new potential sponsors in the game. So yeah, is this going to be, you know, we want to limit what we do with the sanctioning of like fight nights. Mm-hmm. It's not, you know, we enjoy doing that. We want to make that more of like our, you know, WMC arm of USMF. But I really like to do these the tournament things because I've seen, you know, how much it's benefited past USA athletes, you know, now in One and Glory, and now we got one in, you know, look at Gaston Bolanos. He was he's in the UFC, man. He signed to the UFC, and he was a former USA IFMA athlete. So I know the benefit of all these things, that getting that experience at the tournaments, and I don't, you know, that's what I feel is going to be our specialty next year. And, you know, everything goes well next year, I'd like to do more regional youth events, youth tournaments, because I'm really kind of investing into this youth thing. A lot of these kids, they end up getting, you know, 10, 12, 15 of these scrimmages, and they don't have you know, maybe only have 2 in-ring matches. So I feel like I want to capitalize and get these guys more opportunities in the ring. So yeah, I know that was a long, all over the place answer, but yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a very, very busy 2023 for USMF. For WBC Muay Thai, what does your organization have planned for the year, Patrick?
So, you know, this year we went, you know, from basically nothing from the previous year to just a whole host of events from you know, I mean, if you look at, you know, just alone in this year, we have the North American title with Paul Martin and Brett Hlavicek in April. What we're doing is the WBC is we're making it mandatory that you have to defend the belt within 6 months. And what that did is it's created a lot of excitement. So when Paul Martin first won that from Canada in New York on Warriors Cup, just 3 months later, he fought Elijah Clark for the professional North American title. And then now, 3 months later in December 10th or December 17th, no, 16th, December 16th, Elijah is going to be defending against Paul Benasiak. So it creates excitement, and it makes the belt and the title more legit. So we're going to be doing more of these in 2023, where we're creating opportunities with state championships, regional championships, national championships, and North American championships for A-class athletes. When I say A-class, just, you know, athletes with X amount of bouts. You know, for A-class, we're looking at 15 bouts or more. For state titles, we're looking at 10, because we realize that people, again, with, you know, 10 fights or more, few and far between in the United States, unfortunately. And our goal with that, and with the state championships, they're not belts. I think that the United States has become really a belt-hungry society, and they've used this as a trinket. And even at the scrimmage level, you know, it's pretty, to me, janky, right? So it doesn't really create longevity, because people are thinking, if I got one and I'm done. And so what we want to do is, again, create this platform where there's this ascension, where people can see this clear ascension. And that's why we've, you know, differentiated. Nobody else in the world's doing this with WBC, you know, headquarters, you know, with Colonel Tanapong and Kevin Noon has given this opportunity to be creative on how we can create opportunities to reach our goals. And one of the things that we want to differentiate was the difference between an amateur title belt versus a professional, which is the prestigious green and gold. And so what we want to do is we created a white face belt. And so even during this year, we created the first national amateur belt between Amy Duke and Susan Wallace at 118 pounds, also fought in New York on Warriors Cup. And now Amy's gone to the pro ranks, so that belt is now vacant. So we're looking to do to open that back up in 2023, an opportunity for that in 2023. As we go into December 16th, we've got 3 WBC title fights, which is Elijah Clark defending it against Paul Benasiak, as I mentioned, for the North American title professional. We've got Johnny O'Neill versus and forgive me, I don't want to. David Dajubi. Anyways, I'm probably butchering his name. I don't have it in front of me, but it's for a amateur national title. And then let's see, there is Dajuko versus Doe for also an amateur national title. And both these, all the belts, these guys are well into the criteria that we've set forth. So they have a tremendous amount of experience. Now, to answer your question directly, as we go into 2023, the WBC is going to continue to get more promoters in various states. So we got Fabiano Aoki, former heavyweight, WBC heavyweight world champion. Fabiano Aoki, he was based in Phoenix, Arizona. He's now throwing shows. He's hosting one in December, on December 10th. And he plans to do at least 4 WBC shows with state, regional, and a couple of national titles on his show. We are looking to do a couple of events at least 2 events in Honolulu, Hawaii, with Richard De Los Reyes, with the Kamehameha Cup, and the Hawaii Open, or the Hawaii Invitational, excuse me. And then in California, right now, we are looking to get delegation in the state of California so that we can have, we can sanction in the state of California with WBC criteria, scoring criteria, judging criteria, officiating. And, you know, again, we don't want necessarily everything. We just want to get, you know, a part of it so that we can be involved with it, having a direct say within the sport of Muay Thai here in California. So Texas, they're looking to do a couple of shows in Texas, a couple of state titles, maybe a couple of national titles in 2023. We're looking to do the America Games, which is for the youth. That's supposed to be for North, Central, and South America. My thought is to open it up and make it international, but we're far beyond just the Americas. You know, hosted it here, but open it up to youth off from all over the world. Venice, Italy, for the first adult amateur WBC Muay Thai World Championships, hosted by Max Baggio. And in the very near future, February 4th through the 6th in Hua Hin, Thailand, is the Muay Thai Festival, which will host one WBC Muay Thai World Championships men, one WBC Muay Thai World Championships women, one prestige belt, the Nike Nom Tom belt, and then the release of the Nak Muay Ying prestige belt for women as well. So a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on for both organizations. Obviously, there is a larger body behind WBC Muay Thai, the same with IFMA and USMF. How do you feel the policies of the larger organization impact, the regional national body? Patrick.
So with the WBC, because it wasn't very organized here in the United States, and let me repeat your question. So let me see if I understand your question. How does the international governing body of WBC Muay Thai impact the decisions that we make here nationally?
Correct.
So we just need what we again we kind of have a blank canvas just because of the way things have been run in the past. What's important to WBC Muay Thai is that we uphold the standard, that we make sure that that we live up to the brand's prestige by ensuring quality matches and, again, safety for athletes. So that really is the directive of WBC Muay Thai International. And so long as we are true to that, then we can be very creative in what we do here in the United States.
And Corley, do you feel like the policies of the larger IFMA organization impact USMF? And if so, how do they?
I mean, I feel like it's like as a coach or an instructor or whatever, you always want to have like someone overseeing things and checks and balances. It's kind of like a blueprint for us to follow, make sure that we're having gender equality at events, we're following proper weight check things. We're not adjusting weigh-in times, or we're doing this, we're doing that. Like we're following the same standards. So like we did our qualifier in Colorado, we're not just going to make up our own way of it. So we're kind of following the international way. And I want to try and, from our new way that we're doing our youth events, we're trying to teach the athletes, coaches, and officials, how ring procedure is done basically universally, how to enter the ring, when to put on the Mon call, when to take off the Mon call, when to do the white crew, when to come to the center of the ring. So all these things are kind of like the international standard that I think, we learned from the World Games qualifier. A lot of coaches don't know even how to enter a ring. Some coaches didn't even have a Mon call. So I know that it's kind of having those kind of things, like those international standards, those help us, teach and educate here in the USA. As far as like anything else, like, politics, all that stuff, no, I don't. We just do, good ethical stuff, and that's it.
Great. Go ahead.
Can I add to that weight thing? So I think that's exactly. So I mean, internationally, at least the WBC and I know the WMC as well. There's certain standards in terms of like the weight. So like, for example, what we have going on in New York, the athletes have to submit a 30-day video of a 30-day weigh-in, right? So it can't be more than 10%. And then 14-day, they got to submit a video with their 14% weight, and then 3 days out, or I'm sorry, 7 days out, what their weight is as well. So that helps prevent these dramatic weight cuts. You see guys dropping 40 pounds, and for within a 6-week period, which we all know is extremely dangerous. So we want to make sure that, again, that there's a certain safety standard that we follow by WBC Muay Thai, our parent organization.
Awesome. USMF and WBC are the biggest organizations in Muay Thai right now. Do you, Corley, feel that they're competitors? And if so, do you think that hinders or helps facilitate the growth of the sport?
No, I think every event that you do in Muay Thai is good, experience, as long as it's, done with safety. And, the thing about is any Muay Thai event, no matter what WB or whatever, W or anything, is you just got to look at what your goals are in the sport and where is that event going to take me. So, there's a lot of different acronyms in the USA that can take you to, different paths. It can take you to winning a belt at a national thing. It has some that can take you to a world championship of maybe B or C level, international level. And there's some that it just all depends on what your goals are. Some people don't enjoy the tournaments, but it's a fast way to get you experience against, the world's best. It just depends. I think whatever the athlete is looking to do in the sport, you just got to, look at, see where that is going to take me. Some people just want to do a one-off, some people want to grow within the sport. So no, I think there's different paths. I think the people know through the athletes that we've put in through IFMA that have had great success, Janet, Asa, Eddie Abasalo, man, I was happy to see him come to one of our tournaments, and he's going to be fighting a really tough fight here. Is that tomorrow? Yeah.
It's tomorrow in about 24 hours.
You got like Troy, Selena, Becca's, the Nicoles. They've all gotten a lot of great experience through these IFMA tournaments. So I don't think there's a tournament like the IFMA tournament. And so that's kind of where we specialize in, is getting people experiencing that. Other organizations have, specialties in doing just pro style. Some organizations have all different options. It just depends on what your goals are in the sport. So if there's, more organizations in the USA, that's good. It just needs to be that we all know where it takes us. We all want to have a good, an end goal for the athletes. We don't want to keep them that they can't compete. So the more, the better in the USA, as long as we're doing it all under a, safe and ethical manner. And then there's a whole list of things also I would add to that, like, proper officiating, proper, so as long as there's, there's like a high school hallway, there's like people in there saying, oh, I was like, did you hear what they said? No, look, man, at the end of the day, we are putting on events that are getting youth and adult experience. Right now, we are specializing in trying to provide A-level amateur youth and pro-am adults opportunities to compete in the IFMA World Championships, IFMA Pan American Championships, all these different things. And through those experiences, we can, try to get them into you know, these things open up doors for them to fight in WMC titles, professional titles. These things open up doors to fight on, you know, the Challenger reality show, just a lot of different things. So that's, and if there's not, we don't have enough opportunities in the USA for us to fill the void for everybody. So as long as there's other organizations doing good events in the USA that, you know, filter into maybe someone wanting to do the IFMA World Championships or a qualifier or wanting to be on a reality show, then that's good. That's but we don't have a like I was saying, the high school hallway thing where we're saying, don't do this. Oh, did you hear what they said about you? No, man, we're just doing events. We're staying too busy. Others I know are staying too busy to be dealing with all that. And most of us are professional enough that we keep in conversation, and all that other stuff that's out there. It's just, like I said, it's like high school hallway. Everything is good.
That's good to hear. I guess, Patrick, do you feel the same and or disagree with that? Do you feel like USMF and WBC are competition? How do you feel about that?
I've never felt it was competition. I didn't think it was a conflict of interest. I mean, you know, when I was with the USMF and taking on this role with the WBC, personally, I didn't see that as because I don't see them as competing entities. I think that they complement each other. You know, I know that Corley had mentioned that maybe more is better. I don't believe that. I believe that better is better. 100%. I don't think more organizations.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. You know, because people are now making up their own stuff, and it goes to what you were saying in terms of like standardization of good officiating, and you know, there's a lot of people out there that are obviously a money grabs. And they're doing it for don't get me wrong, I'm a capitalist, right? So I believe that you should make fair profit and good profit, right? In your business. And that's one of the problems that contribute to the lack of growth of professional Muay Thai, is because of the fact that most promoters are a lot of gym owners, right? Is that they mean well, but they don't understand that it is a business. And as such, they set these lofty goals, and they try to set them too fast as opposed to building it over time. And so if it is perceived as being competition, then I think it's actually good, because again, we're all involved in the sport because of competition. I don't feel that it's competition. I feel that it complements each other. But what it does, you know, some people are obviously, you know, are going to factionalize it, and they're going to say, you know what? Let's do this, let's do this. And what that in turn does is make everybody better, because it pushes everybody to the next level. Okay, well, they're doing this. Well, let's do this. Then let's do this. And it's then those that are janky, the ones that are obviously money grabbing motherfuckers, right, are going to be exposed, right? At the end of the damn day, And you can see it. It's going to be obvious, because the quality is going to speak for itself, right? So again, to me, and I know what Corley meant by it, you know, better is better. And to have more organizations that understand the sport, not more organizations, but more organizations that understand the sport and want it to grow in the right way. And again, that's subjective, obviously, what is the right way. But I mean, that's the reason for this particular podcast, is to hear what our particular goals are for each organization. So no, I don't feel it's competition, but I do feel that it allows us to push each other so that we all get better and the sport gets better.
Awesome. So if the different sanctioning bodies, or WBC and USMF, are not necessarily competitors, that means like athletes can say fight for WBC, and then like the next month they would be able to fight for USMF or in the IFMA games, correct?
I'm sorry, if someone was a title holder in something, they could fight in something else, is what you're saying?
No, like an athlete that fought in a WBC event, then they would be able to fight in an IFMA event after.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that's great. And
I mean, I hope that was a good WBC title fight. I mean, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, uh, we want, one of the things we're doing next year is we're in the process of is trying to change the name of USMF to just USA Muay Thai, and we're trying to get away from the acronym of USMF. It's got years of stuff. When I came in 2016, it had some bad stuff. Same as WBC is like when the people came in, we had to kind of restart and cleanse whatever the thought was of previous leadership. And I want USA Muay Thai to just be USA Muay Thai. Like everybody wants to be on the USA team. Everybody wants to be on that USA national team that hopefully, next year could be recognized through the United States Olympic Committee. So I don't want to be in all of that politics. I want to get away from even the past of that stuff. I just want to be USA Muay Thai, and I want to see everyone, cheering on the athletes. For instance, at the World Games that we had in Alabama, we had, was it 8 out of the 12 athletes medal, and we had a packed stadium, but I didn't see much on like the social medias. I think we got to, like get behind that. Like that was an amazing experience for the athletes. I want to get out of the whole USMF, this politics stuff, and just be USA Muay Thai. And that's kind of the goal for next year.
And Patrick, vice versa, would a USA Muay Thai athlete then be able to fight for WBC?
Absolutely. I mean, and Corley and I had a conversation just last couple of days, a couple of days ago, regarding that, because everyone's trying to push me to do tournaments for the WBC or push us to do tournaments. I'm not interested in that. I think that TBA does a phenomenal job. USMTO does a good job. WKA on the East Coast does a job and does a good job, and USA Muay Thai is going to be doing great jobs on that. But I want to be able to use that to say, okay, look, these guys are, and now it's kind of my whole vision for years. It's just like, here, this creates regional, champions, and those are the people we can identify to invite for title fights, right? So yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thought process behind it.
Awesome. So just one or two more questions. Obviously, since you're not necessarily conflicting and athletes will be able to compete for the different organizations, do you have like competitions scheduled out? And then, I know Corley has a few dates and WBC has a few dates. Are you looking to coordinate your dates with other organizations in the States, or do you feel like, you have to just do it when you're available to do it?
Do you want me to take that?
Yeah, you can take it first.
Yeah, I mean, we set out our dates, I think a few months ago for the whole 2023, for the tournament schedule, that is. Last year we did March. It's a good time for the adults because the adult championships are usually just before the summertime. Sometimes they're in the summer. Our youth, I know some people felt that we were invading or overstepping or doing something that was conflicting with other tournaments that are in the summer. And I simply don't agree with that. Those tournaments serve a different person. They serve primarily adult, senior adult, C level, B level class. And I think, like he said earlier, they're like the TBA, for instance, is a very well-run tournament, but there's a hole in all of the tournaments in America do not have depth in the A class youth, male and female. I mean, I'm looking at 2022, there was 13 athletes, 11 boys, 2 girls. 2021, 16 boys, 1 girl. I don't feel that we're invading anyone that, like that. Now, if I was to go and throw a, an open tournament for C class, B class over on the East Coast the weekend of this tournament, or, around that time, yeah, I think that would not be cool, for it's not that we're not at that point in the sport yet. But no, I don't think that us doing it, we're right now, we're only doing A class tournaments, and there's never been done like what we did in March of last year to the Pro-Am. So we're doing a Pro-Am in March for the adults, and then the youth is just A class youth. And that group hasn't been served. So I don't believe that we're conflicting with any tournament that's in the summer. And I know there's a lot of tournaments in the summer. Every acronym does a tournament in the summer. So I don't think that we're conflicting with anyone. I think it's actually, that all these things can filter into those A class tournaments. We're not in the position right now to do C and B class tournaments. And I think all the tournaments that Patrick said earlier all do that very well. That's why they're still around, so we're not jumping into those waters. So I don't think that we're conflicting. We're putting those dates out, and we put them out early just so, everyone can see. And yeah, I hope that, I know a lot of people got upset with us. I think they maybe thought that we were doing an adult tournament 2 or 3 weeks before the TBA or something like that. And no, it's not the case. I've always been a reasonable person. My phone number is posted. It's the same number as the Heritage Muay Thai number. It's the same number as I post out there. So I'm always accessible. And no, we're not out there trying to conflict with, tournaments. So we're just trying to provide that A-level thing that's not being served in USA Muay Thai. And that's it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
That sounds good. And Patrick, in the same regard, is the WBC gonna try and schedule things ahead of time, or what is sort of your feeling about that same situation?
Yeah, again, we're not. There are a couple events that we are scheduling ahead of time. The WBC Muay Thai Youth Summer Camp Experience, that we did this year. It's going to be an annual thing. That doesn't conflict with anybody because that opens it up to it's kids, just all kids, and it's not a competition. It's a summer camp basically. So, and then the other one is the America Games, which is only going to be done every other year. So it's going to be done once every 2 years. But other than that, everything is going to be essentially title fights, and it's going to be, everything else is going to be done internationally. So title fights are based on promoters, right? So whatever local promoters decide to host an event, they just give us 60-day notice that they are going to be hosting this event. But no, again, local shows doesn't conflict with anybody else's except for other local shows, right? And even then, those athletes have to qualify based on certain criteria, so it's not pulling away from another event.
Awesome. That's definitely good news, I feel. I know both of you are very busy and have a lot going on. I just wanted to open it up and see if there was anything that you, Patrick, wanted to talk about that you didn't get a chance to talk about. And then I'll have the same question for Corley.
No, I just, there's a lot of opportunity everywhere right now, and it's pretty darn exciting. I mean, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that wasn't the case. I know that the mid, I don't know, maybe around 2015, 2016. I know even just within tournaments, I mean, just based on the question you just asked, a lot of people were, for a lot of promoters, a lot of tournament promoters, everyone was kind of quibbling because they had a finite amount of athletes to choose from, right? But now with this explosive growth of Muay Thai, there's opportunities for everybody, right? And that's the beauty of it is that there's just, tremendous growth. And it's just now being able to to make sure that leadership within the community is able to harness that growth and funnel it toward the direction that takes us all the way to the top and allows us to fight at, again, international levels or the highest levels through standardization of the sport here in the United States. So it's exciting times. They're very, very exciting times. One of the things I do want to point out before I hand this over to Corley is I know, and again, this is probably maybe not necessarily the forum to have this discussion on, but I do, I know that a lot of tournaments are counting every experience as experience within their classes. And in the past, that might have necessarily been so. But for like an MDL, I feel that that's kind of ridiculous because there's no winner, no loser. Now, in other organizations, they have a winner and loser, which to me is kind of ridiculous because that's not really developmental. So in regards to that, and when they start counting that in these tournaments, it's going to preclude people that are doing MDLs. Because I'm not going to send my guys. I know if I've got a guy that's doing 10 real MDLs based on the algorithm that we set forth, and they put him in an A class, I'm just not going to fucking do it. There's a lot more local shows, fortunately. And that's what the WBC is doing. We are partnering with WBC, Muay Thai USA is partnering with local promoters on how to run a business so they can help you make money. And then such, we don't have to spend $5,000 to fly out to, nowhere, right? And we can still keep it within. But I think that if they continue to do that, don't get me wrong, it's because there's opportunity everywhere, it's not going to diminish. People are still going to, look to get, their one-off belts or whatever, right? But I do think that can be a detriment from really creating, really high quality Muay Thai in tournaments if they count those, at least MDL, the way that we do it. And I know no one's doing it the way that we're doing it, period. Just not, right? They're just not. I think that it's very complimentary that people are going to copy it, all right, or at least try to follow it because it does create safety standards, right? But at the end of the day, if the tournaments do that, again, it's going to prevent a lot of people that have high quality athletes from participating in their show. So that's my 2 cents, and you guys know how vocal I can be. But at the end of the day, I feel that it's really, really exciting, the growth trajectory that we're at. And it's important to have, not everybody competing for an ounce of power here, an ounce of power here. That's stupid, right? We all have the same goals. We just have to make sure that we manage it very, very well, right? And manage this growth very, very well. And sky's the limit.
Awesome. Definitely good things to hear. And Corley, do you have anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to highlight?
Well, this year has been, I keep saying last year for 2022, because it's been like such a long year. I'm happy with how things came out this year. It was a lot of new undertakings with the Pro-Am qualifier, and then seeing it at the Abu Dhabi at the World Championships afterwards, and then the World Games here in America after that. Then they just wrapped up the Challenger series. It's just been a pretty cool year for these athletes. There's, at the World Games, they wanted to showcase 6 men, 6 women weight classes. At the Challenger show this year, they wanted to do men and women and share the same fight purse. So I thought it was really cool and a good symbol of equality and the sport growing, that now there's a depth in the women's. And I even think in America that our women's depth is much deeper than our men's depth as far as talent and amount of talented athletes. The youth for 2023, yeah, I think it's difficult as the growth. There's so many scrimmages, there's so many things, and this one's doing no head contact, this one's doing head contact. People are getting knocked out at this. People, it's it's something to look into. And for the safety of the kids, I really hope that some people come together and we can start unifying something. Unifying is very difficult. That's why, we're trying to do it through the USOC. In 2018, we had a lot of sanctioning bodies and a lot of people come together, and to unify, somebody usually has to give up something to gain something, and a lot of sanctioning bodies don't want to give up this part of what we do. Oh, we'll follow it all this, but except for that, and then it creates a little, where everybody doesn't want to unify. But I think, as Patrick was saying, the youth thing, it's very difficult now because of the states. Some, like for instance, my state not allowing youth Muay Thai. I know in other states, in Illinois, they don't allow youth sanctioned Muay Thai, and in different states, even if you're 50 fights, you can't fight under these certain rule sets. And so it's really difficult for our kids. And so, when people say, USMF is trying to, get this power thing. No, we're trying to get a unified thing, just like USA Boxing for the amateur side for these youth, so that, they don't have to be doing stuff on the mats all the time. That one day, maybe next year, maybe in a couple of years, that there's Muay Thai is done in a ring, and these scrimmages can be done in a ring. Learn more about the ring procedure, the Mong call, sealing the ring, the culture of Muay Thai. I think which gets lost in the mat stuff as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that these mat things are all wrong. I just believe that it loses a little bit of the culture and touch of Muay Thai without the ring. So. As you can see, this is a passionate thing for the both of us about this youth stuff, and it's just got to be done correctly. And that's kind of my goal, more so with the USOC recognition, is to try and make it that, hey, kids under, 11 years old should not be hitting each other in the head or throwing head kicks at a scrimmage or anything like that. I want to just standardize and make the youth Muay Thai more safe. And look at that, man. I'm sitting here talking about Challenger reality show, and I'm back on this kids thing. That was kind of, that's it. I want to, some of the stuff that we got with the RSO has been, some challenging stuff with the Olympic Committee, and, we're working hard to try and get to that. So that's the goal. We want to create something that when I say unified, it's not we're not trying to say our way or the highway. It's just some standard processes in place for, because there's nothing that stops Matt Lucas from flying into Houston, driving over to Arkansas and putting on a youth event and having some people swinging, so.
Well, just to wrap things up, I want to thank both of you guys for what you've done and what you are doing for the sport. Definitely appreciate it. And I really appreciate both of you taking some time out to clarify what's going on with WBC Muay Thai and USMF/USA Muay Thai. The future is.
Can I add something real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff out there in the thing of USA Muay Thai where people feel that, hey, they said this and hey, they said that, and at the end of the day, this is the fight business and this is a fight promotions, right? And if a promoter is not promoting themselves or a business is not promoting themselves, then they're not going to be in business, right? If I'm Heritage Muay Thai in Houston, Texas, we're the third best Muay Thai gym in Houston. No, hey, we're the best Muay Thai gym in Houston. And it's like, if someone said, hey, our belt is the most prestigious, our belt is the most best. Well, what do you expect them to say? You don't say, well, we're the third best belt in the US, or our tournament is working to be good. People need to promote themselves. So don't be offended if a promotion says, hey, we're doing this title fight, it's amazing, it's great. Hey, our tournament is doing this. Is just people, this is the fight business. Like let's let the people promote. And as Pat said, If it's janky, it's not going to make it. You know, let the public will decide. You know, if that's a real title or if that's a real tournament. You know, so everybody just needs to stop being offended over, you know, these things that are nothing. It's called promoting the business. So stop getting upset with all that and take your athletes to get experience, take your athletes to fight, and let's raise the sport, man.
All right. Well, that is some excellent closing words there, Corley. Again, I just appreciate you guys taking your time out and everything that you do for the sport. Definitely 2023 is going to be an amazing year for the sport through the work that you guys have put down, and looking forward to the growth of the sport. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for all you do too. Thank you.